From an increase in agency participation to a renewed judging process to inclusion of new categories, Goa Fest 2016 worked on it all. But the million-dollar question is, who stole the show and who made it as showstopper? Well, without further ado, it's time to transport you to the Abbeys 2016. Here's a detailed report of the top rankers, new entrants, and of course, a new token of appreciation that gave Goa Fest 2016 its much-needed utopian ending after a long list of conflicts. Vijay Ravi and Ronak Shetty steer you into the ceremony.
Metaphorically, titled the Goa Fest, a song of fire and ice.
Agencies are lacking digital work and digital work has become important, but what are we doing for that?
Look at the advertising industry, not as such a creative industry.
From battling fiery accusations, philosophical adversaries turning into mutually compliant allies, this season encountered it all. Quite the perfect plot for the 11th edition of the fest. But then it boiled down to one simple proposition. Who would claim the throne in this creative warfare? Before we chariot through the winning visuals, here are some remarkable facts to reckon with. Despite the big agencies opting out of the fest, the number of entries for the creative Abbeys shot up from 2,801 in 2015 to a staggering 3,446 this year. The media Abbeys too saw quite an entry escalation, a boost from 674 in the previous year to 1,014 in 2016. So all in all on the participation front, the Goa Fest witnessed 585 new names. Though the participation saw a significant climb, for the jury, the creative report was just about average this year. The number of gold medals awarded in 2016 went down from 71 to 38. So we decided to bring up that very golden question, and here's what the ad frat had to say.
I think it's very good because I don't think all the golds, though we have also got some golds, all the golds are of gold standard.
I think the Indian jury, I've always noticed that is harder than any other jury. We're very hard on ourselves and look at our work with a very, very critical eye. I'm hoping that will change, and we should be more encouraging and more inclusive of ideas for them to actually go up and win gold at the national level or even a Grand Prix.
So here's what the final medal tally looked like at the Creative Abbeys 2016. JWT bagged the numero uno spot for the third time in a row, winning a grand total of 47 medals, including 5 golds, 21 silvers and 21 bronzes.
Our agenda has been to bring the entire body of work up to a certain level, up a few notches. And I was very happy therefore at this time that it's not only the golds and the 47 medals that we have won, it's the 200 shortlists that we have got, it's the Young Abbeys gold that we have got, it's the total number of medals that we have won. And to me, winning on big brands of big agency and big companies like Unilever and Godrej, to me that has been very important.
We try and solve every client's business problem with an ideal solution, but at the same time we focus on the idea in the ideal.
After a lackluster performance last year, Taproot came back with a bang, bagging the second spot, losing out to JWT by only 7 medals. The agency managed to bag 2 golds, 19 silvers and 19 bronzes, giving them a total of 40 medals.
So I'm really happy that we have managed to push our bars from 34 medals to 40 medals this year at Goa Fest. That time we were 33 people, now we are 40 people. So we don't want to grow in terms of number of people, but we want to grow with the creative capability, the creative stature, and that's what we have been doing.
Slipping down a place and rounding off the top 3 was contract advertising, with a total of 26 medals, with 1 gold, 9 silvers and 16 bronzes.
We were actually predicting that we may not be among the top 2 or 3 actually, because our last year our entire intent and our entire approach or strategy was very different.
I don't think we were represented in certain categories which to my mind are a little easier wins. If you look at the number of
medals which were coming in traditional categories were a little lesser, and most of our work were in those categories. Whereas things like PR and brand activation, we didn't have entries at all. And in those categories, there were a lot of medals.
Hats off to the top 3 agencies for winning a few golds, a few silvers and a lot of bronzes. But one thing that was missing from Goa Fest this year was a Grand Prix. And kudos to the jury on making that rather hard decision. That being said, this year, the Best in Category award was introduced. This award is of higher value than a gold, but lower value than a Grand Prix, and it has us a bit confused. If a piece of work was good enough to earn a Grand Prix, it should have, and if not, a gold should have sufficed. We don't understand why exactly they couldn't make up their minds.
I think it's Grand Prix or it's no Grand Prix. I don't agree with this in between way of celebrating Grand Prix.
It's a bit confusing. I agree with that. So hopefully they'll only stick to the Grand Prix because I think that's the one that matters most.
I don't think that makes sense. How can there be something midway between a best of the best? That's what a Grand Prix is. It is the second best of the best. I mean, I didn't sort of quite happy with that one.
Well, the Best in Category winner went to Publici Communications for Ambuja Cement, a giant story. And here's Bobby Pawar, CCO Publicis' take on whether he bought into the concept or not. Listen in.
Best in the media, I don't know what that means, right? I don't even know what an orgasm means, but I'm happy to have both, so what the hell? When it comes to these things, I think the only way you take it is with your chin forward. If it lands on your chin, great. If it's a pat on your back, great.
Now flipping towards the media abbeys, that's often placed conflicts at bay. Right from participation to the victory plunge, it was a sight that just couldn't be missed. Here's the final list of how the medals stacked up for the media entries. Mindshare trekked to the #1 spot after being second best at the Abbeys since the past 2 years, bagging 17 medals in total.
It's great to see that in Goa Fest, where a lot of creativity is what gets promoted. That we won 17, and we also won about 4 awards in the rest of South Asia, where Bangladesh won 3 and Sri Lanka won 1. It's great to see the other countries also contributing to the entire South Asia platform. So it's a great evening. Delighted.
Maxis bagged the second spot as the agency was awarded 7 medals for its work over the past year.
I think our focus has always been, doing great work on clients, creative work, effective work. And I think all the medal wins are a testimony of our focus purely from the last 2-3 years of what we call as Trinity, which is data, digital, technology, content all coming together.
Paradoxically, Lodestar UM slipped to the 3rd spot alongside Madison Media after its 2-year dream run at the Abbeys, cementing the top spot.
I think some of the work that we actually entered just didn't get shortlisted, so that was a little disappointing and surprising. For example, this year Amul, I'm surprised, is not done equally well. Or Tata Motors, we've done some really great work on Tata Motors, but that didn't.
We enter in very few categories, and I think that has been a traditional weakness of Madison. So I think in the categories in which we enter, we do reasonably well. Not the best, but we do reasonably well.
From an increase in agency participation to 25%, giving the fest its so-called New Age theme, and of course cleaning up the judging process. Wait, something still seems missing. We caught up with the ones who were missing from all the action and yet stole the limelight with their unique token of appreciation. This is how the ad frat reacted to it all.
Would we like them to be here? Of course we'd like them to be here. If they aren't here, we can live without that, right? Because I think we've got the growth is, 20-25% on it.
I think the day we can sit across the table and agree that the objectives for Indian advertising are correct, that's the day I'll be back at Goa Fest.
I wish they would participate because it's actually their loss. That this is what people consider, young people consider it as a national award more than anything else. And
do we require a gold, silver, bronze? Do we require so many categories? Or do we require just few pieces to be taken out? Or is it that for 1 year we should push a certain kind of, because a lot of people say that agencies are lacking digital work, and digital work has become important. But what are we doing for that?
I don't know. I'm not a believer in like dancing on the sidelines, right? Either you get on the freaking dance floor, or you don't dance. Sit at your table and have your get drunk, right? Don't freaking dance on the sidelines.